Today, I will be presenting Depero Futurista, a revolutionary book created in 1927 by the Italian futurist artist Fortunato Depero. Often called the Bolted Book, it is widely recognized as the first modern artist's book because it transformed the idea of what a good book could be. The book itself became a work of art through its bold typography, unusual binding structure, and experimental design. To understand why this book was so important, we first need to understand the artist behind it. Fortunato Depero was born on 1892 in Trentino, Italy. Depero was so much more than a painter. He was also a stage designer, illustrator, decorative artist, writer, graphic designer, and advertiser. His artistic career was defined by experimentation and creativity across many different fields. In 1913, he published this book that I can't pronounce the name of. It's a collection of poetry, prose, and illustrations. Shortly afterwards, he moved to Rome, where he met Filippo Tommaso Marinetti, the founder of Futurism. Through Marinetti, Depero joined the Futurist movement and began exhibiting with Futurist artists in 1914. In 1915, he and artist Giacomo Baia co-signed the Manifesto Futurist Reconstruction of the Universe. In this manifesto, they argued that art should not remain separate from everyday life, meaning that art should influence every aspect of life, including theater, architecture, fashion, advertising, furniture, and publishing. Here are some of his paintings that lay out a strong foundation for his future graphic design style. They are bold, colorful, and geometrical. To better understand Depero's work, it's important to understand Italian Futurism. Futurism officially began in 1909, when Filippo Tommaso Marinetti published the Manifesto of Futurism in the French newspaper Le Figaro. The movement celebrated everything modern: machines, speed, technology, industrial cities, and flight. Futurists rejected the past and admired innovation, movement, and energy. Working in the years of surrounding World War I, Futurist artists represented modern life through fragmented forms, overlapping images, dramatic perspectives, and visual movement. Their works attempted to capture the energy and dynamism of the early 20th century. Depero Futurista, the Bolted Book. In 1927, Depero published Depero Futurista, a book that collected his artistic ideas and work while completely reinventing book design. One of the most famous features of Depero Futurista is its unusual binding. Let's take a look at the traditional book binding methods. There is sewn binding, case binding, saddle stitch binding, and more. Unlike traditional binding methods with stitching or glue, the book became known as the bolted book because it was held together with two aluminum industrial bolts. This industrial design perfectly reflected futurist values. The metal bolts symbolized machines, industry, and modern technology, turning even the physical construction of the book into part of the artistic message. The book featured bold typography, dynamic page compositions, experimental graphics, advertising imagery, and unusual arrangement of text and pictures. Its typography reflected Depero's visual style, characterized by abstract, colorful shapes and energetic movement. The pages feel dynamic and playful, making the act of reading a visual experience. The book also explored words in freedom, an experimental typographic style developed by Marinetti that rejected traditional grammar and page layout. Because of its innovative design, Depero Futurista is widely recognized as the first modern artist book, where the physical form of the book is just as important as the content inside. Because the original copies of the 1927 edition are extremely rare and fragile, many people today experience the book through a facsimile print. The word facsimile comes from the Latin face, meaning make similar. A facsimile is an exact reproduction designed to copy both the content and physical appearance of the original object. In 2017, designers and books collaborated with other organizations to produce the first exact facsimile of Depero Futurista, recreating its even famous aluminum bolt binding. Depero Futurista is much more than a book. It represents the futurist dream of combining art, typography, design, advertising, and technology into one creative object. Through his experimentation and imagination, Fortunato Depero transformed how people thought about books and graphic design. Even today, his work continues to influence artists and designers, including some of the biggest graphic design firms in the world like Pentagram and Wolf Allens.